All right, so today we're diving deep into Ryan's world.
Ryan's world.
Yeah, the 12-year-old YouTube superstar.
Yeah.
We're talking like billions of views, a toy empire, even a Macy's Day Parade balloon.
It's incredible.
It is, but this deep dive isn't just about a kid playing with toys.
Right.
We're going to unpack how his family turned this into a multi-million-dollar business, and trust me, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Oh, yeah. It's a fascinating case study in entrepreneurship, really.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We've got mom, a former chemistry teacher, and dad, a structural engineer.
Okay.
Combined, they are making a comfortable $200,000 a year.
Wow.
Then, boom, they quit their jobs to focus on a YouTube channel
Re-
back in 2016.
Yeah.
That was a wild move.
It really was. I mean, remember back then, being a YouTuber wasn't a proven career path.
Yeah.
It was a huge leap of faith.
For sure.
What's interesting is that even amidst their early YouTube success, they seemed to understand the platform's volatility.
Really?
Yeah, they were already thinking about diversifying beyond YouTube.
So you're saying
Yeah.
while they were racking up those billions of views, they were already planting seeds for something bigger?
Absolutely. It was incredible foresight.
Okay, so let's talk about the scale of their operation for a second.
Yeah.
We're talking 10 YouTube channels, 80 billion views, a production studio with 30 to 40 employees.
It's a well-oiled machine.
It's mind-boggling.
They're producing 10 to 20 videos each week, spanning everything from unboxing toys to educational content to animation.
Wow.
Yeah. And this brings us to another smart move, minimizing Ryan's on-camera time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not only did this protect his childhood, but it allowed them to scale the business in a way that wouldn't have been possible if Ryan was the sole focus.
So how did they actually pull that off? Was it just bringing in other kids?
That was part of it, yes.
Okay.
They introduced other on-camera talent, including Ryan's twin sisters, to share the spotlight.
Got it.
But they also made a strategic move into animation. This allowed them to create content that wasn't reliant on Ryan being physically present, giving him more flexibility and creative control.
That's really clever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about diversifying revenue streams, but also diversifying the content itself.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, did they anticipate Ryan eventually stepping back from being the main star?
That's a great question, and one we'll explore later.
Okay.
What's clear is that they were thinking long-term.
Yeah.
They weren't just building a YouTube channel, they were building a brand.
And that brand goes way beyond YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the toy empire.
Okay.
I mean, remember that Walmart trip where they needed a police escort because of the sheer number of fans?
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect example of their real-world impact.
It's
The
wild.
fans were driving hours to meet Ryan.
Really?
That partnership with Walmart, by the way, has been a massive success.
I bet.
They've sold over $1 billion worth of Ryan's World toys.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
They've also got TV shows on Nickelodeon thanks to their partnership with Pocket Watcher.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Right.
The FTC crackdown on targeted ads in children's content hit them hard, right?
Absolutely. They lost a staggering 70% of their ad revenue overnight.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder of the vulnerability of relying solely on ad revenue, especially in a space as tightly regulated as children's content.
That could have been devastating for a lot of creators.
Oh, yeah.
But here's where their foresight really paid off.
Right.
Because they had diversified their income with toys, TV shows, and other ventures, they were able to weather the storm.
Exactly. They weren't just riding the YouTube wave. They had built a sustainable business model for the long term.
Okay, hold on tight, because this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
They didn't stop at YouTube toys and TV shows.
Wow.
They set their sights on something even bigger: feature films.
Feature films.
A huge leap, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Not many YouTubers have successfully transitioned into feature films.
Right.
It was uncharted territory, and they faced a lot of skepticism from traditional distributors.
I can imagine. Yeah. To get the first movie made, they even had to co-finance it themselves with Pocket Watch.
Mhm.
Watch, because distributors weren't convinced a YouTuber-led film could succeed.
Wow. Talk about believing in your vision.
Mm-hmm.
But if they succeed, it could open doors for other creators to make that leap to film.
Right.
It's potentially game-changing.
It really is.
But through all of this, they seem to have kept Ryan's well-being front and center.
Yeah.
They clearly have a strong parenting philosophy.
They're very intentional about protecting his childhood, which is commendable given their level of success.
I agree.
They limit his filming time, encourage him to pursue other interests like tennis and snowboarding, and even send him to summer camp
Really?
without electronics.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
In this digital age, that's a serious commitment to screen-free childhood.
Yeah, it is.
They're also focused on his education with the goal of him attending college.
Hmm.
It seems they're not just building a business empire, but raising a well-rounded human being.
And that's what makes their story so compelling.
Oh,
They're balancing business ambition with genuine care for their child's well-being. But remember, Ryan is growing up.
right.
He's 12 now, almost a teenager. He has his own interests and aspirations that might take him in a different direction than what we've seen so far.
That's a great point. It makes you wonder, how will Ryan's world evolve as he grows up?
Yeah.
Will his interests change the direction of the brand?
That's a fascinating question, and one we'll delve into shortly. One thing that's really striking about Ryan's world is this willingness to evolve.
Hmm.
They're not afraid to experiment, to push boundaries, even when faced with uncertainty.
Yeah, that whole movie venture is a perfect example. Think about it, millions of dollars at stake. Industry skepticism, the challenge of translating their YouTube success to the big screen.
Right.
It would have been easy to play it safe and stick with what they knew.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
But they saw the potential, the opportunity to connect with their audience in a new way, to tell a richer story. That's a valuable lesson right there.
Yeah.
No matter what field you're in, sometimes you have to step outside your comfort zone to achieve real growth.
And it's not just about their own growth. If that movie takes off, it could pave the way for other creators to make that jump to film. That's a pretty incredible legacy to leave behind.
It really is. They're challenging the traditional path to success in the entertainment industry, showing that it's not just about following a set formula, and it's not just about business either. They're clearly aware of the impact their content has on their young audience.
For sure.
Millions of kids look up to Ryan. That's a huge responsibility.
Absolutely. They're essentially role models for a generation raised on YouTube. How do you think they navigate that responsibility?
From what I've observed, they seem to be approaching it thoughtfully. There's a conscious effort to balance entertainment with education, to encourage a healthy relationship with screen time. Remember that YouTube Kids ad they did?
Oh, yeah.
The one encouraging kids to take breaks from watching.
Yeah, the put down the iPad message. I thought that was pretty cool. It shows they're not just focused on maximizing views, they're thinking about the well-being of their audience.
It's refreshing to see. And it's not just lip service. They're walking the walk with their own kids, sending them to summer camp without electronics, encouraging them to explore different activities. It's a reminder that success doesn't have to come at the expense of a balanced childhood.
It's a good model for parents in general, especially those raising kids in the digital age. Screen time can easily become all-consuming, but Ryan's parents are showing that there's a healthier way.
Yeah, it's about setting boundaries,
Yeah.
making sure there's room for real-world experiences for exploring other passions.
But it's not always easy, right? I mean, remember the FTC investigation, navigating those regulations, especially in such a rapidly evolving space, must have been incredibly stressful.
It definitely highlights the challenges creators face in this environment. You have to be constantly aware of the rules, adapt to changing guidelines, and make sure you're on the right side of things.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even with all the success, there are still hurdles to overcome. It's not always a smooth ride.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to their resilience, their ability to navigate these challenges and come out stronger on the other side.
Okay, so they've conquered YouTube, built a toy empire, ventured into television and film. What's next for Ryan's world, especially considering Ryan's evolving interests?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We know Ryan has expressed interest in animation, and he's been watching content geared towards an older audience like Mr. Beast.
Oh, wow.
That's quite a shift from unboxing toys.
It certainly is. Do you think the brand will follow Ryan's lead? Could we see Ryan's world transition into something entirely different, or will he take on a more behind-the-scenes role as he gets older?
It's fascinating to consider the possibilities. Could Ryan's world pivot from kid-focused content to something more aligned with his teenage interests? Could they leverage his animation skills to create a whole new line of content or even a separate studio?
It would be a bold move for sure, but they've never been afraid to take risks. And with Ryan's built-in audience and their proven track record, they could potentially create something truly innovative.
They've already disrupted the world of children's entertainment. Who's to say they can't do it again in a whole new arena? What do you think based on their past moves? Are they likely to play it safe or go big?
Knowing their history of bold decisions, I'd say they're not going to shy away from a challenge. I think they'll find a way to embrace Ryan's evolving passions while staying true to the core values of their brand. They've shown an incredible ability to adapt and innovate while keeping family at the center.
I agree. Whatever direction they choose, it'll be fascinating to watch how they navigate this next chapter. But before we get too caught up in predictions, let's take a step back and appreciate what they've already achieved.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable. They've built a global brand that's resonated with millions of children. They've entertained and educated, and they've done it all while prioritizing family and a balanced childhood for Ryan.
It's an inspiring story, one that highlights the power of entrepreneurship, the importance of adaptability, and the value of staying true to your vision.
But it leaves us with the question, how did they actually pull it off? What were the specific strategies and tactics that propelled them to such incredible heights?
That's what we'll unpack next.
Yeah.
We'll delve into the mechanics of their success, the decisions they made, the partnerships they forged, and the lessons we can all learn from their journey.
Okay, so let's get down to like the brass tacks here.
Yeah.
We've marveled at the Ryan's World phenomenon.
Right.
But what are the concrete takeaways? What can we actually learn from their journey?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the billion view headlines, but I'm curious about like the nuts and bolts of their success.
Yeah, one of the most significant takeaways in my view is their laser focus on diversification. Like, they understood early on the importance of not putting all their eggs in the YouTube basket.
That makes sense. YouTube is great,
Yeah,
but it's a fickle platform.
it is.
Algorithms change, trends come and go. You need to have multiple revenue streams to create a stable business. Exactly.
It's about building a sustainable ecosystem, not just chasing viral fame. So they strategically expanded into toys, television shows, even feature films, creating multiple avenues for income and brand growth.
Okay, but diversification goes beyond just revenue, right?
Right.
They diversified their content as well,
Yeah.
which is something we touched on earlier.
Mhm.
They didn't just stick to toy unboxing videos. They branched out into educational content animation, even challenges and experiments.
Yeah.
How crucial was this to their longevity?
Hugely important. It allowed them to keep things fresh, to appeal to a wider audience, and to adapt to Ryan's evolving interests.
Yeah.
Remember, the things that worked when Ryan was 5 might not resonate with him at 12, let alone with a new generation of viewers.
It's about staying relevant, evolving with your audience.
Absolutely.
But how did they actually implement this content diversification? Was it a gradual shift, or were there like specific turning points?
It seems to have been a combination of both. They gradually introduced new types of content, testing the waters to see what resonated. But there were also deliberate shifts, like their move into animation, which allowed them to scale production and create content that wasn't solely dependent on Ryan's presence.
That's a brilliant move. They found a way to reduce Ryan's on-camera time, which not only protected his childhood, but also made the business more sustainable.
Yeah, it was a strategic masterstroke by bringing in other on-camera talent, including Ryan's twin sisters, and incorporating animation. They created a more flexible and scalable model. They could produce more content without putting additional pressure on Ryan.
It also allowed them to maintain that consistent posting schedule, which is crucial for YouTube's success.
Absolutely.
The algorithm loves consistency, right?
Mhm.
You need to keep feeding the beast.
Keep beating the beast.
But amidst all this strategic maneuvering, there's another vital element we shouldn't overlook: their parenting philosophy.
Yes, absolutely.
They've managed to achieve this incredible success while seemingly prioritizing Ryan's well-being and a balanced childhood.
Right.
How have they struck that balance? What are some of the specific things they've done?
They've been very vocal about setting boundaries, limiting Ryan's filming time, and encouraging him to pursue other interests outside of YouTube. They've emphasized education, sent him to summer camp without electronics, and made sure he has time for family and friends.
It's easy to get swept up in the whirlwind of success, especially in the fast-paced world of online content. But they've managed to keep their focus on what truly matters: family well-being and raising a happy and well-adjusted child.
It's a valuable lesson for anyone, really. Success
Mhm.
doesn't have to come at the expense of your values or your personal life.
Right.
In fact, those things can often complement each other.
It's about finding that equilibrium, that sweet spot where ambition and well-being coexist.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, not every decision they made was perfect.
Right.
Remember that whole debacle with the FTC investigation?
Oh, yeah, that was a significant setback. It exposed some vulnerabilities in their business model and highlighted the challenges of navigating the complex world of children's advertising regulations.
It's a reminder that even the most successful ventures can stumble,
Yeah,
but it's also about learning from those mistakes, adapting, and becoming more resilient.
exactly.
Yeah.
They took responsibility, made the necessary adjustments, and emerged stronger on the other side. Which brings us back to our earlier discussion about Ryan's evolving interests as he enters his teenage years. How do you think his changing tastes will impact the future of Ryan's world?
It's a question that only time will answer. But knowing their track record, I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to embrace this evolution, to pivot and create something new and exciting that aligns with Ryan's passions while still staying true to the core values of the brand.
Yeah, I agree. They've demonstrated an exceptional ability to adapt, to innovate, and to think long term. They haven't shied away from taking risks, but they've always done so with a clear vision and a commitment to their family.
So, what does this all mean for our listeners? Ryan's world may seem like a unique case, but the principles behind their success are universal.
Whether you're building a business, pursuing a creative passion, or simply navigating the complexities of the digital age, there are valuable lessons to be gleaned from their journey.
It's a story about the power of hard work, the importance of adaptability, and the value of staying true to your vision, and perhaps most importantly, it's a testament to the fact that success doesn't have to come at the expense of what truly matters.
It's a story that reminds us that with a bit of creativity, a lot of determination, and a commitment to your values, anything is possible.